All right, he's already on the court, but that doesn't mean that Brett Kavanaugh is, in the eyes of some Democrats, going to stay on the court. A number are leading efforts, especially if they gain the majority in the House, to begin impeachment proceedings against him. C. Boyden Gray is the former White House counsel for Ronald Reagan and George Herbert Walker Bush, expert in all these matters. I don't see where that would go, but where do you think they would go?
I don't see where it would go either. You can impeach, and that's like an indictment, but the trial is in the Senate. It takes 2/3 to convict. It's really impossible to see how you could get 2/3 of the vote now, and especially if the Republicans pick up a seat or two, which is entirely possible. So I don't see where it goes except more embarrassment, more harm to the court. And if the intention is a media war against the legitimacy of the Supreme Court, that is really dangerous in my view.
Now, you dealt with this over the days of Clarence Thomas and in a capacity as being an advisor to him, and he always had like a target on him. And I'm wondering, did that ever dissipate after those controversial hearings? He was approved 52-48 in the Democratic Senate, we might point out, but it was tooth and nail, the whole battle, and there were promises, much like in this case, to make him a marked man.
Well, I don't think it worked. And remember, he got 11 Democratic votes, so this was not This was not a partisan thing. I think he suffered something of a cloud for a few years, but he's now one of the most respected members of the court. He's known by Democratic scholars as well as Republican or conservative, if you will, as being one of the leaders of the court. He's the go-to man often when they can't remember what they decided, 15 years earlier in a particular case. He's adored by his colleagues, and he's one of the most fun people to be with, and he's very, very funny, even though he doesn't talk when he's on the court.
That's right. I forgot about that. One of the things I've heard about trying to pursue impeachment is that Judge Kavanaugh perjured himself. And I'm not a lawyer and expert on these things like you are, but I started digging into this, finding, well, where and how would he have perjured himself? And apparently it would center on the degree to which he might have minimized how often he got drunk in high school. And I'm thinking to myself, boy, like, are you kidding me? What'd you make of that?
Well, my gosh, I thank God I'm never going to be questioned about my drinking in high school and college.
Don't go there. We don't want to open a can of worms. But that's really what it comes down to, that is where he was not very honest or forthcoming about something he was doing in high school.
Well, I got the impression, listening to the hearings without the commentary, that he liked beer and he drank a lot. I never had any different view. He liked to drink, and that happens to people in college and happens to people in high school, and most of us grow out of it. But I can't say that I wouldn't be in the same pickle he's in if I were in his shoes, because I can't make a relative judgment about my own drinking when I was in college, and I did some things that I regret today and wouldn't do again, and have done everything to make sure that my one daughter doesn't do or hasn't done.
I see a method to this, and again, I have no legal expertise, that's why I'm happy to have you here, but that give and create doubts about his authenticity under oath, and that he might have misstated or minimized the potential that he could have blacked out or, just fallen asleep after heavy drinking, thereby making possible the claims of Dr. Ford. So I know what they're getting at here, but it does seem a stretch and maybe a dangerous precedent to use that as precedent in future, Supreme Court picks, and that will go that far back and ask those type of questions.
I think that's a very dangerous route to take, and if they do that, they take a risk that I wouldn't take if I were they. They open up de Blasio herself to the same kind of scrutiny, and I'm not sure she comes out so well if she's put under the spotlight the way they might do to him. So what's needed by the country is some sort of, all right, congratulations, guys, you won. Let bygones be bygones. We'll see you in court on another day, and let's accept this outcome. And get together, because the court is one of the prized crown jewels of our electoral system.
Fair enough. C. Boyden Gray, thank you very much.